This investigator serving at the Sanford Police Department. Today's date is Friday, March the 2nd, 2012. We're located at the Sanford Police Station, 815 West 13th Street, City of Sanford, Seminole County, Florida. The time is now 11:20 in the morning. Present in the room is state your name, ma'am. On February 26th, on Sunday, at approximately 7 o'clock in the evening, something happened behind your house, correct?
Yes.
Can you tell me what you saw?
We didn't see anything. We only heard everything. We had our back door open, so we could hear everything going on, but we didn't see anything. It was too dark. And
Okay, what did you hear?
it sounded just like, we had the TV kind of loud, but it sounded just like two or more men talking kind of loud. And so I muted the TV to see what was going on. And at that point, it kind of just sounded like scuffling around. So that's when I kind of went to just get the phone, because we've been having issues in the neighborhood already.
What kind of issues?
Break-ins and burglaries and stuff. So they've been telling us, if you see anything, hear anything suspicious, just call 911. So I just went ahead and got on the phone and called 911 at that point. While I was calling, the scuffling kind of turned to like one man was yelling kind of like a, not a help yell, but just yelling. And so then those yells kind of turned to help, help, help. And at that point I was already on the phone with 911. And I think if you could hear the 911 tape, you can hear the gunshot too, because it was soon after that. But he yelled help many times. I heard the next door neighbor open his door and kind of say, you know, what are you guys doing? And the guy said, help, help to him too. And he's like, well, I'm calling 911. Because, I mean, we don't know what the hell they're doing out there. So, and we couldn't see anything because of our blinds and stuff. So we're not going to just run out there and help. So, I mean, that's pretty much the end of it. We heard the gunshot, and then it got quiet, and that was about it.
Okay, the conversations that you heard, the yelling before you muted the TV, could you make out anything that was being said?
I really couldn't. It was just kind of loud yelling.
Was it an exchange? Would you call it an exchange
Yes.
of words?
Yes.
More than one phrase to another? How many back and forth did you hear as far as the yelling? Could you approximate?
I would say maybe 3, and I would be kind of just guessing. Like, it would sound like maybe one person said something, someone said something
like,
back, and then he said something.
Hey, 3.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay.
But again, the TV was on, and that's before I muted it. So at first we kind of just thought it was like a couple of drunk guys or something yelling. That's just how it sounded, like loud, belligerent kind of.
Have you heard anything else? Do you know of anybody else who might have seen this thing from its inception when it started? Do you have any idea?
I don't think anyone besides us and our next door neighbor, and I think you've talked with him already.
Yeah.
He's the only one that actually saw anything, and I know that he didn't know George or the other guy at all, but he did describe both of them, and we know George was on the bottom getting pummeled, and we saw George's face after. He was the one yelling help the whole time. And
how did his face look when you first saw him?
well, we only got a picture because the officer that wanted us to identify him wanted us to come over there, and we didn't want to be a part of that. So he took a picture and brought it over, and at first we couldn't even recognize him because it looked like his nose was broken in a few spots, his lip was all bloody, and he just looked completely out of it. But then a lady behind us was like, oh, that's my neighbor, and I kind of put 2 and 2 together because, I mean, we've seen him a lot at the HOA meetings, but he just looked so messed up that it was hard to notice.
Have you ever spoken to him before?
Just during meetings and stuff. I'm on the board, so you know we'll talk, but not much, honestly. Like, he's talks to everyone else more than I've really ever talked to him.
What's your impression of him as far as
person?
in general, good person?
Yeah, he seems just really laid back, you know, calm, cool, collected. That's why, I mean, I couldn't really picture him doing anything crazy, like, or malicious, or, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to say either way, but I can't picture him losing his cool, you know, unless he really felt like he needed to do something.
Okay.
But
So typically speaking, somebody who would basically try to avoid confrontation, or would you call him confrontational?
I would say he would try to. I mean, he was confrontational in the fact that he was trying to do the neighborhood watch thing.
Okay. A little passionate about it.
Yeah, and
Okay.
wanted to help out the neighborhood and this and that. And I think if he saw something going on, he would confront the person, but not confrontational in the sense like he's trying to have it, an altercation or something like that.
So he's not like a little Nazi running around trying to, Okay.
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
I don't know if he has kids, but I know he's married, and I can't see him doing anything crazy like that. He just wants the neighborhood to be safe.
Okay. Well, by little Nazi, I mean over-aggressive,
Yeah.
overbearing, stuff like that.
No, no.
Braggart, none of that. Okay.
No, not at all.
Okay. She's heard there was the exchange. There was like a 3-part volley. Hey, hey, hey. And then all of a sudden there was a scuffling and the fighting, and they didn't see. And they couldn't basically make out what they were saying.
You've spoken to George on many occasions?
Not many. He comes to the meetings.
Like you would recognize his voice possibly, or?
I would, but not in that situation. I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like it was just sounded like two men yelling.
Okay.
Like it could have been any two men.
So when we talk about this exchange between them, you don't know if George was speaking, started the conversation, or?
At first, we didn't even know how many men it was.
Okay.
It could have been 4 guys. It sounded like, he'll probably tell you the same thing. It sounded like a couple of drunk guys or a group of drunk guys. That's why, he was going to maybe go out and see what was going on, but we didn't know how many people were out there.
Mm-hmm.
So it just sounded like, hey, hey, or not hey even, but it was just, yelling, like, what are you doing? What do you, kind of like that. Just
Going back and forth?
Yeah.
For about how long?
Not long. I mean, maybe like 3
Three
things
exchanges,
like
3
that,
volleys.
and then it just started scuffling, like rolling around on the cement on the sidewalk.
Okay. Did you hear anybody chasing anybody? Did you hear anybody say anything along the lines of stop? Anything like that? I mean, not stop, beat me up, that kind of thing. Not the help. Prior to the help, did you hear a chase out there?
No,
Okay.
I didn't. It sounded like it all started right on the sidewalk by our house there.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe like it bent the corner, and right there is where the scuffle started and kind of scooted down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it definitely went past the back of our house. And then that's where the shot was, on this side of our house.
That was directly next door to your house, right?
Right.
We ended up finding the dead
Right.
person, right?
Yes.
And your house is right on the intersection is?
Right.
So you're saying you think it started over here on the T? Because if this were your house?
If that was my house,
Because
well, my house
you
would
live
be.
on, correct?
I live on. So let's pretend my house is here. I think it might have started either here or here, and then came around here.
Well, this is a sidewalk, right?
This is Twin
There's
Tree.
2 sidewalks.
This
Yeah.
is Twin Tree, and this would be going to the mail.
Okay,
to the clubhouse.
gotcha. So then it either started here or here, and then came over here, and this is where
So
he
you
was
think it
shot.
started on this portion of the sidewalk?
Yes,
From the sound?
from the sound.
Okay. And then where are you at? I'm sorry.
Yeah, right here.
You're right here, so you could hear it passing here.
Right. And I'm a pretty nosy neighbor, so and people are always walking their dogs and stuff back here, so I hear people all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But if it was something loud enough for me to be like, what the hell are they doing? Then that's why I muted the TV. And it was weird that it's been raining all night, you know what I mean? For there even to be people out, we were kind of like, what are these people doing?
Other questions? Okay. I'm going to conclude this interview. It's now 11:28-ish.